Hello guys and welcome back to another Thaumcraft 4.2 tutorial. So today we're going to be covering the focal manipulation in a little bit more depth. We touched on it in the last video that we did with vis relays and stuff like that, and that is because it links to this. So to power these things and to start enchanting things, you're going to need energized nodes and vis relays if they're further than 8 blocks away. So the basic concept of this is the way you now enchant foci. You used to be able to do them in enchanting table. That is no longer. But the advantage of this is it lets you have full customizability over your actual focus. So if you have a look in here, we're going to look through the Ignis one, and then I'm going to break down the other ones and show you the different kind of things you can have. But as you see here, most of them start off with frugal and potency all the way around. The only ones that are really different is the primal one and the warding one. That one is the same. This one here also doesn't have it at the beginning. It's mainly the attacking ones, the building sort of ones, and equal exchange, for example. And the primal one's really different. And then this one's the same, this one's the same, and this one as well. So I'm going to cover all of them, go through them all together. But this one here starts with frugal and potency. So you get to pick which one you want, and depending on which one you want, it will have a different vis cost. Depending how powerful your energized node is will determine how fast that actually does itself. I've got about 6 energized nodes behind here. You can combine them together to make it even faster, which is what I decided to do here. But as you can see, we start off with frugal and potency. Potency increases the damage. Frugal reduces the cost of casting using the focus itself. So we're going to go with a bit of potency here. Hit that there. It's taken us 8 experience, and this goes up in 8s as you go along. So that'd be 8, 16, 24, 32, and finally 40 at the very end. So there you go, we've got that one there, and it unlocks another one called Alchemist Fire. That increases the potency of the elemental fire in the focus. Any target set alight will burn for much longer. So there you go, you've got a little bit something else on there. Just added potency, which has increased the damage of it by 20%. This will make things burn for much longer. And as you go along, you unlock different things. So I put Alchemist Fire on this one, Fireball on this one. I put Alchemist Fire here, and then when we get to tier 3, you tend to get a 2-split option on it, so you can go either way with it. On the Ignis one here, you've got Fireball and Fire Beam. So Fireball is going to hurl a massive explosive ball of fire, and it says here if you've got the Alchemist's Fire upgrade, it causes to set the ground aflame at the point of impact as well. And then you got the Fire Beam here, which emits a narrow stream of fire instead of a wide swath. It burns through anything it touches, inflicting massive damage. So you can basically concentrate the fire thing into one beam, and it will do a lot more damage as well. And then moving on, you can, when we get to the tier 4 one, we've got frugal and potency again. We've also added another level of Alchemist Fire. As you can see here, I put 2 on there. You can add another level of that, which will make them burn for even longer. Coming up to 5 at the very end, you get frugal and potency as well, and you've got to decide what you want on the end there. So it's really, really nice customizability. It does get quite expensive as you go down, as you see, 40 levels, and it requires a ton more vis, which just means it takes even longer to charge them up or enchant them or whatever you want. So moving around, we're going to go through these one by one, and I'll break them down for you. So with the focus shock, when you get to tier 3, you can either have chain lightning or earth shock. Chain lightning will work between multiple enemies. As you can see, it will just have 2 in the very beginning. You can increase this as we go on. Earth shock, instead of a bolt of lightning, it will electrify the area around it. So if you hit the floor, you have a little electric thing. Let's see if we can actually show these. I want to get rid of that. Right, so let's have a look at this. I'm not sure if that's working. I didn't actually put one on. That would kind of help. Right, let's put that in. Let's duplicate that. We're going to put Earth Shock on it. Hopefully we can get some stuff over here. But as you can see, you can enlarge this area. So with the chain lightning, it's going to go up more targets, so you can hit more targets with the chain. And with this one, it will do a greater effect on the floor. So let's have a look at this one now. Wait, did I pick the right one? I didn't. There you go. You can see it does this little small area on the floor. We keep upgrading that with the size thing, and it will get even bigger and bigger. So really, really cool stuff there. Just shove that there for a second. And you can obviously enlarge that. So moving on to Frost, when you get tier 3, you can split it 2 ways. You can go to Scatter Shot, which instead of a single target device, the focus will now fire multiple shards. Each shard does minimal damage, but concentrated volley of them can do significant damage to a single target. Or the other option you can go for is Ice Boulder, and that will just do a huge boulder of ice, and it would be very, very powerful. This is still going, that's crazy. And then when you get to the end of this, you got Frugal, Potency. You got Alchemist Frost on there as well, which will slow down your things as well. I think even 2 doses of that on it throughout the process as well. So that's pretty cool. That's all the basic attack ones done. Now we're going to move on to the focus of equal trade. This one is a little bit different. It has Frugal at the very beginning, and throughout we basically reduce the cost of it. It mainly has enlargements, so you can change the size of equal trade that you're doing. I think it's generally a 4x4 area in the beginning. It does about 16 blocks. With this increase, you get bigger and bigger and bigger as you go along. You can also put a fortune thing on it, and you can put Architect. Architect basically allows you to have more control over the area that it's affecting, and you can alter this. As you can see, the default key is G. Sneak G allows you to toggle which dimensions you can change. So that's pretty cool stuff. And then coming over to the end, the very last tier 5 on this, you can actually get Silk Touch. So if you don't want the whole fortune thing at tier 3, you can get Silk Touch at tier 5, and that's what I've done here and put the Architect on it. So you got quite a big area of equal exchangings. Moving on to the Excavation, this one also has Potency as well as Frugal on it. So it will make it go a little bit faster with the Potency when you're excavating stuff, and Frugal will reduce the cost of it as usual. Again, you can enlarge the area that it does, so probably got to like a 3x3 area. Treasure you can put on there as well, so that's going to give you fortune or looting. And then there's this new one that we've not come across yet, which is dowsing. This upgrade gives the excavation focus a small chance to mine native clusters instead of normal ores. These clusters usually give double the amount of ingots when smelted. So you can actually get a chance to have double ores while excavating anything with that focus. So moving on again, at the end of this, you can get the Silk Touch upgrade if you don't want the fortune, but you do also at the end get the fortune opportunity again, so bear that in mind. So that's pretty cool when you get to the end of that. Loads of different things for this one. And then we're going to move on to the black hole one. So you don't get any potency upgrades on this one at all, but you can get enlargements and extended. So extended is a new one. It basically increased the duration of any effects the upgrade might create. So this is basically going to make the black hole last for longer. You can reduce the cost of it and increase the size of it again, so you can make a bigger size for you to run through. Not that you really need it, but just in case. Moving over to the focus of the 9 hells, this one gets really interesting. You've got Potency and Frugal as standard in the beginning 2 tiers, and when you get to tier 3, you've got Bat Bombs or Devil Bats. So Devil Bats are bigger, and they're tougher and nastier. They won't explode, they'll keep attacking until the target expires or they are slain in combat. Bat Bombs do the opposite. They always explode when they come in contact with their target, and explosion will do a lot more potent damage than normal. So that's really cool. You can add either one of them on there. Personally, I'd go for Devil Bats because at the very end of this, you also get a tier 5 upgrade called Vampire Bats. This upgrade changes the summon bats into Vampire Bats. Not only will they suck the life out of their target to replenish their own, but some of their stolen life force is given to their summoner. So I'm not sure if these two work in conjunction with each other and you get like bigger Vampire Bats as well if you join them together, or it just overrides that completely. That's something that I'll have to test out and get back to you with. But it's really cool, and basically This one can heal you if you're attacking things, so I really do like the sound of that one there. Coming over to the Pex Curse Focus, we haven't covered this yet because it's very difficult to get, and I'm not exactly 100% sure on it myself. When I do find out, I will make a video on it and show you exactly how to get it. But what this basically does is it will give, there's a little list of random debuffs it can give people, and they'll last for a certain amount of time. So you can see we've got potency on here and frugal. So potency is going to upgrade it. So if it was like, say, poison 1 you gave to an enemy, it will give it poison 2 at each potency update, probably something like that. Frugal is obviously going to reduce the cost of it. Extended is going to extend the duration of the effect. So if you have poison lasting 30 seconds, extend it to 45 seconds, etc, etc. And then very tier 5, love this one at Nightshade. Normally the Pex Curse Focus inflicts one of a small handful of bad effects. With this upgrade, it will inflict all of them at once. So that is really cool. It's quite expensive, but it's really awesome. Definitely gonna have to get that one on my Let's Play server. Coming over to the Primal, this one is very different. Doesn't have any potency upgrades at all. It only has 2. Frugal, which can only be used on tier 1, tier 2, and then tier 3 has an upgrade called Seeker. Basically, it will find a living target and not wander all over the place. If you played with Primal before, you know they go off in all different directions. This will make it seek things out, and then the only other upgrades you can put after the tier 3 is Frugal the entire way through. So that's really interesting, that one. I definitely want to play with that one at some point. The very last one we have here is the Focus of Warden. So this one will give you Frugal in the beginning, or I think you can pick between Frugal and Enlargement. Architect basically gives you more control over the area that you're trying to ward, and then I've just put Enlargements all the way throughout this one. So that one's really cool. You can you can ward massive areas at once. Really nifty thing. But that is going to be it for today's video. All I wanted to do was cover all of the focuses, show you the different kinds of upgrades you can get on them, and show you why it is 100% worth it that you get this vocal manipulator and start playing around with it. But that is going to be it for the video. Like I said, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys have found it useful. Please let me know down in the comments below if I've missed anything, or if you need help with anything at all regarding Thaumcraft. But thank you again for watching. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and have yourselves a very fantastic day. And I'll see all of you beautiful people in the next episode. Goodbye.